Welcome to the WellPlayed DLC podcast, Australia's juiciest gaming podcast, powered by SteelSeries, but more on that later. I am Zach Jackson, and joining me is Adam Ryan.
Oh, hello.
James Wood.
Howdy, gamers.
Josefina Huck.
Hello.
And Nathan Hennessy.
Heyo.
How are we going? It's a fabulous fivesome tonight.
Is that what it is?
So much energy in the room. It's exciting. It's thrilling.
It's
It's a
palpable, isn't
Tuesday.
it?
Come on, lift. Do what Shannon Knoll does. You got to lift.
Oh, don't
I don't
though.
think anyone needs to follow in Shannon Knoll's footsteps.
No,
Yeah,
I don't want
fair.
to glass someone at my concert for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. Harassing women in a bathroom isn't my idea.
Okay, all right.
Use a better example next time, Zach. This is on you.
It is. How are we
What
all?
about Jacob Elroy? We got to get around that, right?
Who's that?
Is
it's
that how his
Saltburn
last name's
kid.
pronounced?
Oh, I
think
thought he
so.
might be from like
I'm not
Australia.
sure. I've only ever seen it
I've been,
used on
I've been
Twitter.
called a Lordy, but I can't imagine
Yeah,
that's quite right
Whatever.
either.
But I think he stepped up to a what was it? Jackie O
Colin
and what's the
Jackie O
other guy?
producer.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Excellent.
good on him.
Yeah,
That's the energy we need today.
absolutely.
Absolutely, indeed. Josefina, how are you? It's been a while since you've been on the show. Great to have you back. I think she might have frozen.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a
I
full
thought
free.
she was just elated with our banter.
And she's...
I wish we had one of those like technical difficulty blasts.
Shit.
we could.
Right back.
We could do that.
Oh, that was amazing.
What happened? My internet just like bombed out. I'm worried that's probably gonna happen again.
That's all right.
Don't know how to fix that.
Happened to me various
Excellent.
times today.
Look, as long as
this-
the recording's all good. The
Yeah, that's the
Audacity.
gun. Yeah. So
Oh,
sorry. If that
that's so
happens
good.
again, I don't know. Just cut me out of the show.
No, that's just a
no.
proper, authentic Australian experience.
just,
There's always one of us.
No, that was very good. No, so we just asked how you were, and it's great to have you back on the show.
Thank you. As long as I can stay online, I'm very happy to be around.
Well, look, you looked very, very pleased to be here in the freeze frame that
Oh,
you
was
had.
it still really bad? It was really
No, it
bad.
was-
No, it
Okay.
wasn't.
Actually very
Remarkably
Yeah.
positive.
Cut me
Yeah.
out of the episode.
Very good, very good. Adam, how are you going, mate? Your hair's looking slick. You got a mullet, apparently.
Thanks, mate. I do. Yeah, I can only look at you front on, in fear of ridicule. All of my workmates have been trying to get me to like look in a left or right direction, which is hard to do over like Teams meetings. Because I mean, what are you going to do? What's to the right of your home office? Like, it doesn't work very well, but yeah. Fresh cut. Good for the warmer weather.
Very
Just get a
nice.
bit- get a bit
Why the
stuffy.
mullet,
I let Key decide my haircut.
though? Is this the choice that she went with?
This was the choice. Yep.
Good choice.
So I
Okay.
mean,
I don't know how to read into that.
no, look, I think it's fine. My brother cut my hair as well, just as an added little bit of weirdness. But yeah, I've been getting the same haircut for like fucking 8 years. So I was like, hey, Key, time to do something new. And I gave her the keys to the car, and a mullet's what she came up with, inspired.
I reckon next time get a mohawk.
Nope.
Okay, don't do that.
Thanks though.
No worries.
Until you get called up to the plate to choose the hairstyle, mate. You keep that to yourself.
Okay, mate, I had a mohawk once. It was
I have no doubt that you
it was a good time.
did.
James, how are you, sir?
Yeah. Oh, great. Play a lot of video games over the past few days, and they've all left me feeling various degrees of wanting to unalive myself. So, it's been great.
All right. Glad you're here, Nathan.
Yeah.
How are you
I've had
going?
a few of those weeks, mate. Yeah, good. I've also had a trim. Not that anyone would notice. Thanks for not noticing. But the remarkable point of that is on my way home, I took it during lunch, and on the way back, I said to April, well, you want a coffee? So I got her a coffee, and she takes hers with full cream milk, turned a corner 2 blocks from my place, absolutely upended it on the passenger seat. So I spent all of my afternoon trying to like bicarb and lift it out. It went real deep, right? The smell's repulsive, man. I can tell you've spilled a full, like, proper milky coffee in your car. That smell will haunt me, and I don't know how long it's going to take to get out. Filth.
Just wait till the sun hits it tomorrow. It's going to be great for you.
Yeah, very lucky for you that it's been a really bad summer.
Oh, yeah.
The car's done so well up until now. I've managed to keep it like pristine inside, but now it's probably permanently tainted.
One bad day.
Could be worse. Could have kids. I hear that they love getting milk in your upholstery.
That's what
Don't
they
they
say.
just smell like that? Don't they just all smell like hot milk?
Milk, yeah.
He could have just stopped it. It could have been worse. Could have kids, and we all would just understand.
Like,
Very nice.
Smells.
Alrighty, let's get stuck straight into it. We have a couple of little quick shout outs this week before we get into what we've been talking about. Mark's PlayStation Portal review is now up on the website. You can check that out. He says very, very quickly, despite some glaring design errors, the PlayStation Portal is now the best way to dive into remote play if you're keen for it, and asking price isn't too steep. I can't remember if we talked about this last week or not. I feel like he was... No, because it came out on... He published it Friday, but yeah, so you can go read Mark's review on the website there, and he also did his penny little big breakaway or whatever that game is called. There's a preview up on the website as well. I don't recall if we had... Did we shout that out? Oh, we are now.
I think so.
Good shout outs. And he says, even at this early stage, Penny's big breakaway feels like it's on the right path towards a positive outcome. Penny and her trusty yo-yo appeal to my old spirit, that classic experience that's been lacking in modern game design. There have been attempts to recapture that magic in recent years, ukulele for one, but hopefully hopefully developers Evening Star can polish this one up to a wondrous shine. So far, so very good. A game comes out this year. So good job, Mr. Marky Mark. Has anybody else been playing anything that they want to share or talk about? All right.
Want to?
Yes. You've been playing Suicide Squad.
Yes, sir. I'll probably have... I need to ruminate on it a little bit, I think. The various degrees of disappointment that I have. But James has played through a decent chunk of the game with me, and so did Ash. We wrapped up the final boss fight literally about half an hour ago. And it was insultingly bad. The game is... I mean, by this stage, you have heard plenty of opinions about Suicide Squad, and I was hoping that maybe I would be on the more positive end of the shit sandwich. But no, I'm very much in the trenches with everyone that thinks it is a colossal waste of potential and a massive disappointment. But I'll have my full thoughts probably next week, I would say, because the wound's too fresh. It'll just be vitriol if I open my mouth about it now.
Yeah, I'm surprised that game's getting a lot of love on the Steam reviews. Normally those folks are brutal. It's still sitting on a nice, very positive, with just under 3,000 reviews on Steam. Now, that's not a metric of much, but I expected it to kind of get a bit of a lashing.
I wonder
those folks take no prisoners.
I would wager it's because performance-wise and from a design standpoint, like audio visually, it's very impressive. So I wonder if maybe the PC crowd are just happy that something is fucking working on day one.
See, I didn't think that it was like Digital. I think it was Digital Foundry did a thing saying like on PC it's just an absolute mess. But
I'd hoped for better, but sorry, Steam community.
In terms of what I'm playing that's not for review, I'm catching up on the Like a Dragon series because I normally try and stay up to date. Infinite Wealth's just come out. Might play that sometime this year if I can find a spare 100 hours. But I'm playing Gaiden, the man who erased his name,
Nice.
or whatever that subtitle goes, and
Oh.
I'm enjoying it. But it makes that I was surprised it didn't cop a little bit more flack because it makes that one sin that I find generally pretty unforgivable in games, role playing or adventure games, where it forces you to do a lot of side quests as part of the main quest. Like it forces you to do a lot of the side shit to Scott and gates you, and it gates you as early as the first chapter, I want to say, and it gates you hard every chapter. So this game, if it didn't gate you, you'd finish it like, a couple of hours. But it gates you hard. The only saving grace is the side content in those games is my favorite. So it's great to have a good opportunity. Like I don't mind being forced to play that. Any other game, generally I'm a bit like can I just do the critical path? It's not really side content if you're forcing me. It's absolutely forced here, and it's forced. Like I'm 10 hours in, I'm on the third chapter. Like it's brutal, but it's good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about to have that same question. Like, is it a side quest if it's like not optional?
Exactly.
But I guess, do they do it in this instance because, like, I imagine the story is like really good, and I guess that's how they keep the pacing of it going.
I don't know because it kind of grinds to a halt like constantly. And if it didn't, like, it would be not like a nice paced story, but I think it would be wrapped up in like 3 hours, like quite short. So it feels very padded. The fact that and it's real arbitrary too. It's like it'll be like, hey, you've got to go complete like 30 side quests before the next main quest. Like it's really quite aggressive. But I don't really recall many people sort of. I don't recall seeing that criticism much. I'm sure it was out there. It clearly wasn't enough to turn people off the game because I think it was received quite well. I'm loving it, but to anyone else, I imagine that would be quite appalling. Just the fact that it grinds to a stop every hour or so, and there you go. That's another 5 hours of just menial labour before your next little snippet of cutscene. But it's a comfort food for me. So
Nice. Good stuff. Josefina, have you been playing anything at all?
I've been catching up on a bunch of games from last year, and I've been playing a lot of Dave the Diver. I'm not sure if you guys have talked about this game.
that flew under many of our radars, didn't it?
I don't think anyone here's played it. Yeah.
Oh, true. It's yeah, I don't know why that happened to me as well, because I had it wishlisted when it was like still in early access and I was keen for it, and I don't know if this is true, but I have a feeling that all that controversy around them not being an indie game and blah 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 maybe, I don't know, put them in an unfavorable light or something, which really shouldn't happen. Yeah, because I couldn't really figure out why I just like didn't get around to it. Especially
in our
because
circles, definitely changed its perception a little bit.
yeah,
for sure.
and it's such a shame because I've sunk about like 50 hours into it. I love it, and I think it is now my new game of the year for 2023.
Damn.
Like I really really like it. Yeah, it's just and you play it immediately, and I don't know if other people are feeling this, but you play it and you're immediately like, no, this can't be an indie game. Whatever kind of definitions we're going for, this doesn't. It just feels really clean and polished, and it does really interesting things that it doesn't have to do at all. It just keeps opening up, I guess. Yeah.
Nice.
It's been announced for PlayStation release, so yeah, I think I might get on it when I can sit on the couch and give it a play.
What do you
and you can play the Godzilla.
Yeah, how cool.
Steam Deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, see.
Yeah, but I think it's available on Switch.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think you're
I think
right.
so,
Yeah. And it's got a
Yeah.
Dredge crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure when that's.
Oh, that's
Does
right.
it already have that, or?
When I was playing Dredge over Christmas, I saw something in the Steam store. I wasn't sure if it was for Dave or for Dredge, but it was a crossover. Don't know which one it was for.
Yeah,
But-
I haven't actually played any of the DLC for Dredge. Is it? good?
I also have not touched it.
I
I
No,
love
I
did.
it. I
haven't
just
watched
haven't
that
got
either.
around to it.
It was very brief, very small. I wasn't blown away by it, but I mean, it was like $7. So for what I paid for it, brilliant.
Mm.
You know, I just
Yeah,
I
okay.
wanted more.
Makes sense.
It does.
What have you
Anything
been
else?
playing, Zach?
Hound, is it anything else, Josephine, or has it just been Dave? I mean, you did say 50 hours, so do you have time for anything else?
Yeah, other than that, I've been trying to just play little demos that have been coming out. I played a few big ones from last year, and I was just a bit weh about it, so it's not worth mentioning, and I don't want to be mean.
Fair.
Absolutely.
We like being mean here, though, don't we, James?
We do. We do. If you want to give me 2 minutes to not be mean, though, I finished Alan Wake 2. I thought it was exceptional. Game of the year, happily, easily 10 out of 10, bada bing, bada boom. You can't really talk about that ending without spoiling it, unfortunately.
you
but
can't.
I'm excited to see the way that the DLCs build on what's going on. Let's just go with that. I also Silent Hill 2 I've been dabbling in because I wanted to have a fresh point of comparison for the Bloober Team stuff that's been going on, because the reception to that has been fascinating, and I wanted to have a more one-to-one in my mind to see what they've been working with. And then in keeping with the theme, I also played a bit of the what is it, a short message
yeah.
demo
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, looks very cool. It's very Resident Evil-ified in terms of its UI and stuff. Monster design is cool. Yeah, it's fine. It's a first-person 2-hour horror experience. There's not really much else to say about it. But yeah.
Does it feel like they're doing a PT-ish thing with it? Is that the
Not-
idea to sell Silent Hill 2? What's its purpose?
I do not know. I imagine it ties into Silent Hill F because it's got a lot of flower imagery and a lot of cherry
yeah.
blossoms and stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's directly PT inspired. I think that would be a little gauche even for Konami at this point. But I think it's just a standard first person with a flashlight horror kind of time. So
Yeah, nice.
yeah.
Sounds like it's being received a little better than Ascension, because that landed like a wet fart.
Yeah, well, I mean, essentially, yeah, yeah. Maybe I'll get around to that if I get Silent Hill pilled. We'll see how we go.
Very good. Nice work. Me, not much. I did play the preview for Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, which was like a first hour of the game. I didn't know before, but I mean, I assumed before, but this is a one-to-one remake. This is literally, what you've played before, but being jazzed up in its visual department, and the controls and animations and stuff have been tightened. And I don't remember who actually has played the first one, or not the first one, but who's played the original. Yeah, those controls were a bit wacky at times, and
Yeah, that's a good descriptor.
but they're a lot more. I mean, it's still a bit funky playing with two people at once. Like, you still kind of
One analog for one for the other.
Yeah, and sometimes you find yourself going off like that because you kind of lose
Crisscrossing.
like lose sense of where you are. But it feels a lot more. It feels more responsive and just better to kind of play now. And visually, it's great. It's running on Unreal 5, and which kind of just helps bring that like fairy tale kind of world to life a bit more, and there's just a bit more detail, because I kind of went back and watched. I probably only spent 10 minutes, but I watched like bits and pieces of like the game, and yeah, it looks fairly dated now. I would say it probably plays quite dated as well. I still think the best way to play this is going to be by yourself. I think you'll get the most out of the narrative and the whole experience if you play it by yourself. But you can.
Is it co-op?
It is now. There's local co-op.
Oh. But I thought the whole mechanical, emotional thrust of the end of that game would be ruined by co-op, right?
Well, yeah, that's why I think this is better. This is still, but it is an option.
Okay.
So if you want to play it, go for your life. But yeah, that comes out February 28. PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC. I think that's it. Yeah, pretty cool. Had fun.
Nice.
Not much you can really say without spoiling the game, because it is a very narrative heavy game. Yeah, that is I for this week. All right, let's go straight into the big topic for this week, and that is we put out an article about Aussie-made games that we're pretty keen for. Josefina, James, and I contributed to that. But so we thought we'd talk about them on here, and then Adam and Nathan, the floor is yours as well. If there's any homegrown little delicacies that you want to talk about at all. So Josefina, what's out of the how many did we do? 4. So out of the 4 that you did, what's your big one that you've keen on this year?
Ooh. Okay, so I mentioned Jeanette de Monet's Slumlord and a Witch, Bits and Bops. The other one. No, wait.
I think
Hold
you
up.
did.
Wait.
Hang on, I'm on the article now. You did Bits and Bops,
Spirit Well.
and Diets and Deities.
Yes, of course. I didn't mention that because we were just talking about it.
No way.
Yeah, but I also don't remember anything. Yeah, look, Spirit Well.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's probably the one that's going to take a while to come out. Yeah, because I had a sneaky look at I forget the guy's name, but yeah, he was going to launch like a Kickstarter campaign,
David
and it's
Chen?
just not.
The developer?
Yeah, and it's just not kickstarting.
As in
which is a
they're not getting
shame.
funding, or they didn't get funding, or...
No, they just didn't. It seems like they haven't even started the
Right.
campaign. Yeah. Yeah. Big shame because yeah, I played a demo at PAX at some point, and it's really, really cutesy, and I feel like from what I played, it a lot of games like to say they're like Ghibli-esque or inspired by certain like cutesy anime and these fantasy worlds like Zelda, stuff like that. But I feel like even the little snippet of playing that demo, it gets that Ghibli feeling really right, which I think the big draw for me for those types of narratives are just the immersive aspect. It's not necessarily like, oh, look at this quirky thing and look at this crazy thing over there. It's more you're watching or you're being a character, having to learn the rules of a completely different world, and to fit in and most of the time make your way home. Yeah, so I was just like super impressed with that. I'm really looking forward to the other 3 games I mentioned as well. But yeah, Diets and Deities, I think it's coming out really soon. At least in, like, I think it might be early access.
No, I think it's the full
Is it
blown
the full?
thing.
Yeah.
think. I don't recall. I'll
Yeah.
just check for you now.
And Jeanette de
Yeah,
Monet,
full release.
like, yeah, okay. Yeah, so Jeanette de Monet is I think it plans to come out sometime this year. Bits and Bops, they haven't mentioned a specific date, but I mean, with that game, it's going to be, I think, really cute, really fun, but again, it's kind of like a rhythm based keep the beat game. So like I'm not super in a rush to play it as much as something like, Spirit Well. But yeah.
Janet de Mornay looks so cool as well. I'm really excited to see what Fuzzy Ghost are doing with that.
Just seeing it now for the first time, and it's pretty
Oh,
whack.
really?
True.
Yeah.
Well, their other game was very whack, I guess, if you want to call.
Yeah.
And they have those obscure names. Let's say.
Oh, well, this is the
They
queer
do.
man peering into a rock pool, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
JPEG, of course.
Dot JPEG. My apologies.
You gotta put some respect on that full name.
Very good. Yeah, there's the ones you've chosen. There's a good little. I think we've all got a pretty good mix. Like there's a different. All of our each of our 4 is quite different. Yeah, but Spirit Well I have seen on our yearly calendar thing for a few years. I feel like it's been in development for a while. Like what, 3 years at the very least?
Yeah, I'm getting worried.
No, look, I think now that you've talked it up, I think he's got no choice but to
Put that out into the world, you know.
release the Chen
Yes,
cut of
please,
Spiritwell.
please, Chen, please, Chen, don't let me down.
James, what do you? What's one of your games that you're absolutely frothing for, mate?
Your holy and virtuous heretic really took me by surprise. This kind of came out of nowhere. Developer, I will bite raw coffee beans, which is already we're off to the races here. I describe it as it's like somebody ran Kingsfield through a cursed emulator and then strapped on like a turn-based combat system as well. So there's a bit of first-person exploration. It's sort of a 19th century set experience. You're going to be collecting demons to fight other demons, so a bit of Persona in there as well. But it's all got this very like crunchy, old aesthetic to it that just gives it like an immediate kind of vibe, aesthetically speaking. And just like the idea of like a story that's dealing with like summonings and demons and occult suspicion in that era as well. Everything about this is super exciting to me. I think it's one developer as well, and they are getting help on the soundtrack by composer Law Spinner. But other than that, I think it's just a one-person job, and I am very impressed.
Solid. So the one game that caught me, the four I chose by surprise, is actually Drift City Kings, which is like this, like cartoon, like it's almost like a Saturday morning cartoon. Way I described it is it's like it's got like a backdrop of like Rugrats. There's when they have like not cutscenes, but like animations and stuff. There's like a Rugrats kind of aesthetic, like the background, just the like fuzzy kind of feel to it, if that kind of makes sense. But also like it's got a bit of Siggy Butt Brain to it as well. Like it's got that kind of character kind of design to it. And when I mentioned, what's that?
Michael Cusack, like the Siggy Butt Brain.
Oh, is that the guy who did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. When I mentioned to that to the developer, I was chatting to them on Discord, and when I mentioned that this is what it kind of looks like to me, they were like, "That's not a combination that I would have thought of." But it's but it's got well-designed inspirations from like Earthbound, which is quite a popular little like RPG kind of thing. I have no idea what it is, but apparently it's quite.
It's Nintendo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kids.
There's a reason
That's
Nathan
so weird.
reacted the way he did.
I don't see the Earthbound. I see the Rugrats more than.
I think it's that like top down kind of style of exploring the world, which is what I kind of gathered from just looking at some screenshots of Earthbound. But it's also a racing game. So you're a racer. So it's kind of like a Micro Machines racer game. Yeah. So essentially, what you are, you play is, I don't think you have a preset character. I think, yeah, but because you can actually generate your own. Like there is a demo online that you can play. But yeah, you basically create a character, and your job is to work a boring ass 9-to-5 job to earn cash to then live your dream of drift racing around a city known as Drift City. And then your task is, once you get more cash, you can get parts and stuff and spice up your car with some fresh paint. And you can take on the Drift Lords' challenges. So, seems pretty good. Seems pretty fun, like a fun little game. I think it's coming early-ish this year.
I really love a game or any kind of media where you just kind of are trying to reach for things that it's similar to, and it's just like a whole hodgepodge of other shit because there's nothing quite like it. So yeah, it's exciting to hear that the harder it is to explain something, the more I want to see it and play it. So yeah, you've sold me. I'm in.
Have you seen it?
I gave it a Google and I understand why it was so hard to explain. It is fucking wild.
But
I get the Siggy Butt Brain thing though. I certainly get the feel. Yeah.
Very nice.
Jesus.
You boys got any that you want to shout out? Adam and Nathan?
I was stuck in fear of you asking me because I hadn't done my homework. But flicking through There's a really. Have you heard of wellplayed.com.au? They've got a really great article of
The
every
golf site, you
Australian.
mean?
That's the one. We love hyphens.
That is the golf site, yes.
Every Australian and New Zealand made game released in 2024. Mate, I had a cheeky little scroll through there. Great list, by the way.
Thanks, mate.
And I was reminded that Dead Static Drive exists in some form.
Does it?
It's coming
In
this
some
year.
form. Apparently, yeah, it is.
Well, they locked it in. They said it's coming 2024.
Believe it when I said it.
Yes, so will I.
The fact that they describe it as Grand Theft Cthulhu is fantastic. Like that is, I'm all on board for that. And the game's like what people know it for. Its art style and aesthetic obviously is right up my alley. But just the general themes and vibes from it, I'm very much here for. I'd love to see a little bit more from it because I feel like it's been a long while since we've had anything substantial. But yeah, I was reminded that this game exists, and I would love for it to be an actual product that I can play one day.
Coming this year, baby. Xbox Game Pass,
Let's do
Xbox
it.
Series X, Series S, PlayStation 5. No, it's not coming to PlayStation 5.
Get around it.
Unless Phil Spencer decides he wants to bring it there as well. Josefina, no, Nathan, sorry. What do you got for us?
I mean, I've probably already been rooting for this one a few times in the past. I think it's this year. It'll be the Dungeon Experience by Bone Assembly.
Oh
The
yeah.
local folks about the wacky entrepreneurial crab that's trying to achieve financial freedom by working his way out of a dungeon and helping people along the way and performing melodious jazz solos and just weird shit. It's the kind of game that looks like it broke into the illicit party bag and had a few too many nose beers. It's a lot of fun if you watch it. It's definitely a game I'm pretty keen to get my hands on. And if those queues at PAX are anything to go by, it's going to be pretty hot because folks were not giving up. That thing was hard to get access to. I hope it's going to be this year. And that's definitely my. But look, as a quick second entry, and it's a little bit cheeky. Now that I've spent a little bit more time with it, Soul of Infernum, right? It's just around the corner. It's a homegrown little title from the League of Geeks, folks that did Armello. And it's kind of hooked me. And I'm really quite excited to see how that game is received by the public. As a 4X strategy game that rather than focusing on like map tactics, it's very much focused on like the social dynamic between players and scheming and creating like schemes. Yeah, it's very scheme heavy and deception heavy rather than how many dudes can you put on a map and move around. It's not that kind of game at all. So real keen to see how that one unfolds.
Very nice. Very nice. Josefina, you got another one you want to talk about at all?
There are just a lot. Yeah, like you said, like
So many, she's speechless.
I just think we do
Oh.
such cool stuff here. Yeah, I keep seeing stuff about Doggy Don't Care.
Doggy Don't Care. What?
That's definitely
Yeah, it just looks really
definitely taking off.
cute.
Yeah, it gives off almost, and I think I saw this online, so I'm stealing this comparison, but not Duck Duck Goose. What's that one? Untitled Goose Game. Yeah.
I see
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
I see
for
it.
sure. For sure.
I've
Oh,
actually
I've never
played.
seen this.
Has anyone played the demo of that before?
I want to now.
I have played the
Yeah.
demo. It's a pretty good time, pretty fun time. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's cute.
I don't know if is that coming this year though.
Have no idea.
Yeah.
It's coming soon, apparently.
Oh,
Yeah.
I actually,
I
as
feel
a
like a
little
lot of them are
sidebar,
just coming soon.
Yeah.
fucking Steam needs to
Nebulous
rein that in.
2024s.
Rein that in.
It does. All these games that are coming soon on Steam, and it's like, well, is it?
I'm going to
Does
send
that-
Gabe Newell to your house with a calendar. Taps the calendar furiously. When is it?
Well, just fucking hell, mate. Like to be announced, just write that. Don't tease me with coming soon when it's not coming soon. You know what I mean? Anyway, sorry about that. Where were we? James. No, sorry, Josefina. Sorry, continue.
Sorry,
please.
I did also. I just remembered that Wooden Weather exists. I don't
Yes.
know what they're up to, but I feel like because I played a demo maybe like, what was it, last year or the year before? I feel like they didn't really have a presence at any like at PAX or anything last year.
Yeah. No, they definitely didn't have a booth. That's for sure.
Yeah. I'm hoping they do something this year. I don't know if they'll release this year, but that's one of them that's always in the back of my mind. I really like the demo. Really like the premise of it.
Playing God.
Playing
Basically.
God and moving around your little wood people and knocking trees over and stuff. It's great.
Playing the big man upstairs. What a weapon. James, you got you got anything more?
Surf Club, I just want to give a quick shout out to. I guess it looks like an Animal Crossing kind of type art style ish. I don't know, it's very like cutesy pastel, but it seems to be following like somebody who's coming back to their like
Is it cozy?
hometown.
Some of that too.
I wouldn't call it cozy actually,
Okay.
but that's okay.
Just want clarification there.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's fine. Yeah, someone who's coming back and sort of like maybe dealing with some regrets in their late 20s and sort of encountering a lost love of theirs potentially who is still living in the town. So all of that I think is really exciting. There's a surfing minigame that looks cute. But the trailer starts with this really kind of weird warped VHS footage that gives the entire thing a very off-putting tone, and I don't know if that's going to be like an intentional thing that something is going to sort of like creep in sort of as we go along through the game. I'm very excited to find out.
Very good. Just on Wooden Weather, a couple of years ago, I went to a what's their name, big screen like day, where you had like Wooden Weather, Cult of the Lamb, folk tales, future folklore. Sorry,
Future
like,
folklore.
yeah. Wayward Strand, and anyway, a few others. But the
Oh my
one
God,
that was
what a day.
yeah, and this was actually at the Wood and the Weather, their actual studio. But one game that was there and that actually announced that they were coming in March. It's still not coming. It did not come in March. Do you guys remember Way of the Woods or Way of the Wood? What it was called, the deer one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Didn't
Yeah.
Xbox pick that up? Like,
It
didn't
did.
they make an investment into that? Yeah.
It did. If you look at it's is it Anthony Tan or Anton Tan? Ant Tan? That's his name, I think. Yeah. So I think he tumbled. Is that how is that what you do on Tumblr? Like he tweeted, you tumbled.
It's humble.
He tumbled. He tumbled that it was coming in like March 2023, and it just gone. My other one would probably be. It's got to be probably Footy Bash, eh?
Yeah, gotta
It's
give
gotta
Footy
be
Bash a
Footy
shout.
It's got to be Footy Bash.
Footy Bash for the boys. Nah, look, we had a blast at PAX playing that, so and I think the AFL needs a fun game, so
What happens in that game?
So Footy Bash is like a heavily stylized arcadey take on AFL or Australian rules, and there's like 2 teams of 10. I think it's 10 players. I think I wrote that. It is here. Two teams of 10, and it's just a very like brutal take on the sport. So you can kind of bash one another. You can charge players. You can, when you take like marks, they're like huge. Like you jump up into
the skies.
There's like they're all like, what's the right word for their kind of design? They're like big.
They're like
head,
caricatures.
yeah, of players, and they kind of
Very
run
cartoony.
like this, kind of like this. Not what's the right word, but
They kind of look like cardboard cutouts, and they kind of move like it as well.
But then you can like dash and stuff, and there's blood, and it's just good fun.
Super moves.
Yeah.
I think matches play in about 5 minutes. Like it's
Yeah, I
a
think it's
very
a
brief
quick.
in and
Yeah.
out, super arcadey. anyone could pick it up, play it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's coming. I think. Well, I know that they were aiming for the beginning of the AFL season, so which is normally around March, or which is around March. So we'll see if it lands there or not. Any others from you two lads?
I've spat 2 in.
The other one that I had, which 2 years running, I've been the bridesmaid and not the bride to actually play the game, is
Conscript.
Conscript.
Yeah, boy.
This year, I was tightly behind James's back, watching him play this intently.
He loves that.
He does. He really, really does.
It's real fun.
But yeah, everything from art style to concept is very appealing in Conscript. It's like a World War One survival horror game, I suppose, with an isometric viewpoint. The combat looks very tense. There were many times where I saw James kind of running away to try and reload his, 1915 rifle that had the very satisfying. No,
slide that bolt in.
Yeah, had that real satisfying ping when you were trying to reload it, and yeah, like thematically, it really speaks to me. Whether I'll be any good at it, I'll tell you now, I won't be. I'll be shit. But the game is very unique, so I'm keen to actually get my hands on it and finally get married. That got away from me. Sorry.
Very nice. All right. Well, the other games that we give a shout out to, James shouts out Arco. This game looks actually really cool. I'd never even heard of it before. It's by a 4-piece dev team, and one of the devs is Australian.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct? Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it ended up in my little rotation of Australian games. Yeah.
Yep. I also had Bears in Space, which is that kind of time splitsery. Boomer shooter, fast paced kind of thing. Actually got a release date today, so it's coming March 22nd on PC. So there you go. There's also a demo on what's it called? Steam. And Josefina shouts out to Bits and Bops. That's the new game from Tempo Labs, which is they did Unpacking from memory. Is that correct?
No.
No.
Nah.
No,
Some other guys.
They did not do. They did not do. Who did Unpacking?
Which
I'll have a look.
Not them anyway.
Yes.
So
I think you're thinking Tempopo.
Tempopo. That's what I nearly said that. And it was lucky I read it.
Oh, Tempopo's another one that should come out at some point.
Shout out to Tempopo.
Shout out Tempopo.
But not Tempo Labs is Bits and Bops. But shouts to that too. James also gives Call of the Golden Valley a shout out, which is this game looks quite neat. I nearly had this on my list last year, but it slipped into 2024, so I didn't.
First-person investigation game in the Outback.
Looks very, very cool. From who's it from there, James?
That's a great question, Zach. You have the article in front of you.
Osaurus, I think is the name. Osaurus Studios.
That's right. I had to re-record my voiceover when I read that part because I didn't prepare. I was all like, "Oh, sorry." Just was like, all right, let's roll that back.
Then we also Josephina did Diets and Deities, which is the Darwin developed little rhythm cooking game, /cooking game, which looks quite neat. That comes February 28th, I think we might have said earlier, or February 20 something. It does come. I know that I read that earlier.
21st.
21st. Cool. And I've always thought this is pronounced macabre.
I thought that was the pronunciation for that word.
I looked up
100%,
on Google and it's macabre. So that's what I read in my video because that's what Google told me. I wanted to make sure.
Oh no! I
know.
You're gonna look like a skit on YouTube. Oh, Zachary.
Macabre. This is the co-op multiplayer time fucked game that's from Sydney Studio. Yeah, it's like a multiplayer thing where they're trying to blend the terror of single player horror with multiplayer settings. So that's
it does say that
Merriam-Webster holds both in accord.
Good. It calls
You're
it a
good, mate.
stealth extraction horror. I don't know how I feel about that middle word, but the game does look cool.
Yeah, Adam's got a weird thing about the word extraction. Something must
Didn't
have happened
anybody
to him
get
as
his
a
rocks
child.
off for Rainbow Six Extraction though?
That's probably what did it,
I think rocks off might be
Nah,
being a little bit generous.
mate,
give it like a 7.
you were 8.5 in all that.
He did not. He didn't give that an Adam.
And that's all
Oh.
we've got. Cool. That's all we've got. But there's plenty more. There's tons of exciting ones to look forward to this year. Yeah, we've got that little calendar going again, so check it out. It will be updated frequently with an asterisk. But we plan to. So very, very exciting. Cool. All right, let's go do a quick little pause and hear from Ash and our good friends at SteelSeries.
SteelSeries is renowned for its innovative and award-winning products that elevate your gaming performance and experience, and the new range of Alias microphones are no exception. Alias microphones feature a capsule that is 3 times larger than most microphones on the market, giving your recording richer and deeper audio. And with the free-to-use Sonar software, AI-enhanced noise cancellation eliminates the background noise that other cardioid microphones will capture. With Sonar, SteelSeries has tailor-made an audio suite that offers the complete solution for content creators who want to manage their EQ levels, personal and stream mix, and it works seamlessly with programs such as OBS and many, many more. Available now, Alias microphones and Sonar features everything you need to take your content creation to the next level.
All right, amazing. Thank you once again, Ash, and thank you once again to SteelSeries for sponsoring the podcast. So let's talk through very, very quickly. We won't go too long, but let's talk about the state of play and how we felt about that.
Holy shit, that happened, didn't it?
It did happen. James, you want to take this? Because I actually have not seen it, so...
Yeah, it was, 40 minutes, 15 games. I had a great time, but I don't know what your average Joe does with this state of play, because this was one for the sickos, and I loved it. But again, it's not, like, if you're wondering what your big, PlayStation game for the year is going to be, I don't think you still don't really have an answer, right? But for someone like me, we got this massive look at Death Stranding 2, which was to me easily the highlight of this thing. Like that was I think a 10-minute chunk of it was just Death Stranding 2 footage. It looks incredible. George Miller's in it. He's got an oil back hat.
Why was Slappy the dummy from Goosebumps in that trailer?
His eyes went red when he was mad.
He also had,
was at
fangs.
15 frames a second or something as well. Like, just exceptional use of the form. I can't believe people give him the money to do what he does. But yeah, I guess that was the big one that came out of this. There was a bunch of other games sort of peppered throughout there. I don't know if we may want to go around the room and sort of shout out what, if anything, excited anybody from this lineup. For me, obviously, Stellar Blade I think looks fantastic.
Wasn't it?
This was our first proper look at the game, coming a lot sooner than I think anybody expected.
Is this the Twunk?
Yes, yeah, this is the twonk. Because he's not a twink, so I couldn't necessarily use that. But he's got a bit of meat on him. He's a beautiful, beautiful man. His name is Adam. Her name is Eve. What more can I say? No, I think this looks really good. I'm glad that PlayStation picked this up to sort of put a bit of oomph behind it, because I like the concepts, I like the combat. I don't know, I'm excited. April 26th looks exciting. Adam, what jumped out at you?
Definitely the word twunk out of the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was a new one for me.
Oh man, as soon as you published that, holy shit, that gave me a laugh. To go off the beaten path maybe a little bit, Metro Awakening is a new VR entry into the Metro series. Historically, I've bounced off Metro a little bit, but I really, really like the setting. Like, everything about a post-apocalyptic Russia just is nom 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 nom. Very, very nice. But I think maybe I just haven't given any of the games the correct attention they need to get immersed in it, I suppose. But everything that they showed in this brief little 1.5 minute trailer, it just looks the goods. Being in that sort of environment in VR with all the immersive bits and bobs, you're looking at your oxygen meter on your wrist, and it just
Your gun.
Yeah, man, it speaks to me in many, 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 many ways. But yeah, I mean, other than that, Death Stranding 2 was the highlight for me. It had to be. It was 10 minutes of Kojima bullshit, and I legitimately left a work meeting without notice to watch it. And I just didn't look at my work computer for those 10 minutes because that was me time, and it was a good time.
Everybody
That's
gets 10 minutes a day to appreciate some Kojima.
Absolutely.
Josefina, was there anything that jumped out here at you?
No, not really. I think when you said this one was for the sickos, yeah, I'm probably
I wouldn't throw up some signs over that, but yes.
Yeah, like the one thing that stood out was uh everything just looked beautiful. There were a bunch of games that are just like not my type of game, but they all look stunning. It was really cool just seeing how long that Death Stranding preview went on for. Yeah, but my biggest thing was Dave the Diver, Godzilla DLC, and then hopefully when they do that, they'll fix it so I can finally catch like the final fish that is missing from my fish
It's just bugged
Pokédex.
out.
I don't know what's happening. I've asked the internet. I've gone on forums. I don't know, and I can't. Yeah, I just can't move on with my life. Anyway, so hopefully, Godzilla will fix
Stir up
that.
the
Yeah.
Nathan, I'm sorry I took Stellar Blade away from you. I'm not even sure if that's up your alley, but is there
It
anything
totally
else
is.
that was working for you?
But there absolutely is. Like Rise of the Ronin, I was so pleased to get an extended look at that after what was a really quite intriguing first look last year, I think. Where we're all seeing like the rooftops of like this Yokohama that's got so much sort of Western inspired colonial architecture. But now we get to see it in like a lot more action, and nothing kind of like got me a little bit more giddy than when we see the traversal seamlessly move between grappling hook to paraglider to horseback in this seamless motion. I'm like, just curious as to how the open world will tie into the missions, because they made very clear in that trailer that the mission structures are very contained and they're kind of instanced from the open world. That could be great. I'm positive for it, and definitely keen to see a lot more. And it's just around the corner, March 22, but beautiful. And the other thing for me is Silent Hill 2. Like, that's still fresh memory for me, even though I played it like 5 years ago, and it was remarkable even then. And I don't know how to feel about this. It kind of looks like it's hitting those notes. I'm seeing so much that I recognize from the original, just with an over-the-shoulder perspective and glossed up, and I'm just so nervous about the team behind it. But putting aside prejudice, I'm just really, really hopeful that it hits it out of the park again. But I don't know. It's such a landmark game of its time. To reproduce that in 2024 is a scary proposition. Good luck to them.
Adam, you had a question about Silent Hill 2 remake?
Yes, hello, Adam from WellPlayed. Has Capcom ruined remaking horror games? Because I
It's a good
can't
question.
help but like when if they're gonna say they're going to remake Silent Hill 2,
Have they
I
ruined it or
can't
have they
help-
perfected it?
well, yeah, I mean both. It's the kind of the same question, right? Because I can't look at this without thinking of the polish and the work that they put in for Resi 2, 3, 4. And when I look at the Silent Hill 2 gameplay trailer, I'm like, yep, that certainly is Silent Hill 2. But it's hard though, right? As someone, Nathan, you obviously played the original way back in the day, I would suppose.
No, first time was about 5 years ago, just before the pandemic, and it blew me away.
You've ruined it then. So I'm wondering that, like, those who hold on to those memories of the game, I feel like Silent Hill fans are different, right? I feel like
they're
maybe
a weird breed, absolutely.
right. I don't know if they want things to be overly polished. I don't know. I'm talking out my ass because I'm not a Silent Hill fan, but
Conversations around the second game get so metatextual and philosophical, and it's like, what are we even talking about the same game? Because my experience of the game was so different to what I've read of the fans on the net, where they're so interpretive and
yeah. I mean, regardless, it'll be interesting. I'm not a Bloober fan, but I hope
no.
they do well with it. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, it's going to be something.
Look,
I think
you know,
it looks
you
bad,
throw enough darts
but
at the
that's me.
dartboard, one will
Thank
one will
you.
hit.
Zach, what's your take?
On what, the state of play?
Yeah.
Yeah, good
I
stuff.
don't think you care about Silent Hill.
Really? I'm quite like Silent Hill.
Have,
I've played
have you
almost all of
played
them.
Silent Hill 2
Yeah.
back in the day?
Yeah, and one.
Okay, so then what's your take on the remake?
Haven't seen anything from the state of play, so I can't comment on.
Okay, yeah. There's a really
Thank
helpful
you.
write-up on well-played.com.
I know there is. Well, I've just scrolled it. If I had to pick anything that would take my interest, maybe Rise of the Ronin, because I want a new Onimusha. That's probably. I mean, I know it's going to be probably
This ain't
nothing
that.
like it, but
For real though, that transition between the glider to the horse was fucking mint.
Also, while we're on Rise of the Ronin, I will say they've been open about the fact that they've stripped back a lot of the like overwhelming loot systems that they've put into their other games as well.
Overwhelming's the right word.
streamlined this. Yeah, it was
It's
too much.
grotesque.
Yes, exactly. And they've added co-op for this as well. I don't know. I think this could really pop off for them. So yeah.
This is effectively their answer to Elden Ring in a sense. Elden Ring by way of Sekiro. I don't know.
Yeah.
Excited.
No. Should be good.
the other one was maybe Judas. Again, not that I've seen the actual
Really? I
trailer.
thought that was probably my least favorite of the show. It looks
No.
so generic.
No, I haven't seen it, so but I'm
okay,
just
cool.
just the idea of the ex Bioshock people, but from what I've heard, it
So it looks
Definitely
like
looks
Played
like
Bioshock?
Bioshock.
yeah.
I have heard that.
To be fair, like I know that people are people fucking love BioShock. So again, I feel like if there's a game that plays like it walks like a pig, looks like a pig, I feel like they'd like
Probably
surely
Callisto Protocol.
Oh, yeah, such a good point. Such a good point. I retract my statement, Nathan. That is such a good point.
Speaking, if you do like games that school like a pig, you should play Close to the Sun, which is a very, very good Bioshock inspired
Interesting.
game. I really, really enjoyed it. I might have given it a 8.5 on the website, up there with Outriders. Yeah, I can't remember. It's like Tesla inspired. I think it's Tesla. It's all about like
in...
The Nikolai, not the Elon.
no, yeah, not
Right.
the
Okay.
the real
Thank you
Tesla.
so very much.
The real Tesla.
Really
yeah.
important distinction. To me.
Yeah, there's like a lot of like things
Yeah.
like about electricity and shit like that. So yeah, it's really like it's really cool. I think it came to PlayStation or Game Pass or PS Pass.
Definitely on Game Pass.
Yeah, maybe it's Game
Yeah.
Pass I'm thinking of. Yeah, cool. All right.
Speaking of Game Pass and things that got too close to
Speaking,
the sun.
I know, right? Let's talk about that because I know that we are excited.
I feel very bad that Josefina has to be here for two of our more contentious topics now.
Yeah, it is unfortunate.
Is this Microsoft time?
It is.
It is.
What we're doing? Okay, no, but this is perfect because I don't know a thing because,
Okay. You've kept
So,
your head out of
if
this
you wanted
whole...
to give like a sort of recap of the state of affairs for the
Perfect.
audience and myself.
Perfect.
Excellent. Yeah, so this kind of happened because it was a couple of days, like maybe it was even actually just yesterday. I think it was just yesterday. Anyway, Xbox Era reported that Starfield would be heading to PlayStation 5 with its like complete edition. So once the DLC launches, there would be like the Game of the Year edition is what we used to call them, but nobody gave Starfield Game of the Year, so they can't do that. So it would bundle in that DLC and push it over to the PlayStation 5, which was definitely an interesting morning to sort of witness Twitter and Xbox fandom at large kind of process that information. But then while they were processing that, The Verge broke that Indiana Jones was also being looked at moving over to the PS5, I think about 6 months to 12 months after initial release on the Xbox. This effectively opened up the floodgates to what a lot of people were hearing behind the closed doors, which is that Microsoft had been pretty extensively looking at vaguely third-party publishing, like not for everything that they would be doing, but the idea that 12 months after release, a lot of their massive releases would venture over to the PlayStation 5. There was also reports that they had reinvested in PS5 dead kits internally, which added further credence, obviously, to these rumors. And it culminated today in Phil Spencer tweeting, "We're listening and we hear you. We've been planning a business update event for next week where we look forward to sharing more details with you about our vision for the future of Xbox. Stay tuned." Xbox fans, being the normal people that they are, reacted passionately to this, let's say. This is a fan base that has been riled up and sort of trained to be a very specific, excited way, specifically about the Xbox brand, and they collectively seem to view this as a bit of a betrayal of a, hey, we invested a good amount of money in your subscription services, PCs, Xboxes, to just be told the few games that have eventually come out or are eyeing to come out on the Xbox will now be moving elsewhere as well. Let's discuss. This is certainly a turn of events.
And to be clear, then they're not losing anything. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, the fact of the matter is, if you own an Xbox and you're passionate about it, you're not losing anything except a sense of superiority, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, because I just assumed, I thought it was like we were angry at Xbox, and I was like, yeah, they probably did a crappy business. they did something shitty. I don't know.
That was last week.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is why. I think
they've had a great fortnight.
Well, that tweet from Phil Spencer, that tweet is not. That sounds like you caught us. Like,
yeah, like if this wasn't true, he would have just said this is not true. Now, I don't know if it's going to be exactly as it's been reported. I think there's probably going to be caveats and a lot of language around our Xbox family still matters to us, but also we need to start selling games, because I think that their sales for the console have effectively flatlined over the past 12 months. Game Pass has plateaued, I'm pretty sure. Because, I mean, of course it has. Like, you only have a certain amount of install base. There's only so much you can do with that. And Microsoft loves making money. So I guess it makes sense.
I think it makes sense. I remember we had this discussion in depth when the whole topic came about of what happens with their games, basically. Like, their games that they... And I always said that, like, it would make sense business-wise for them to keep it to have them as a timed exclusive. You get, the Xbox community gets it for the first 12 months, and then after that, comes the PlayStation. And maybe you keep the legacy IPs to the Xbox, so your Halos and your Gears and your Forzas, they just stay on Xbox, right? But yeah, all this new stuff and stuff that was announced while Bethesda and all these companies were still third-party companies. Yeah, I mean, and they're effectively ignoring a huge, pool of money by not having these games on those platforms, and that's and that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. And I was James, you and I were kind of talking about it, and yeah, I think just the way that Game Pass is, I just don't think that is sustainable long term for having for game dev. I don't know how you can make $100 million game times 10 and be reliant on subscriptions.
Yeah, $12 a month that may or may not be there.
And sure, there's probably like fucking millions of people that have got it right, which is a constant stream of money. But if you look at the PlayStation community, or PlayStation, not that they have that many games, but it's like, they're getting $90 or whatever their cut might be. They're getting every time a game comes out, right? Like, they're getting, and I've always said it, like, charging money for that game gives it a premium feel or a vibe, Whereas Xbox is giving them all away on Game Pass. Yeah, it's great for the person who's paying $12 a month, but it kind of
intensifies it.
Yeah, it kind of makes it feel like there's no, I don't know. That's my take, and I think it's definitely
It's
true.
less of a player investment, right? You're not choosing to spend 100 of your hard-earned dollars directly into a game and thinking, I need to play this for the next month or
Yeah.
whatever it is. It's a little bit different, the buffet approach. There was a Twitter space, which is effectively like a town square where people can just randomly join, and a assigned few people can talk and everybody else listens. While this news was breaking, there was about 1,200 people hanging out in a Twitter space that was called like "I'm no longer an Xbox fan" or something. I jumped in because I was super curious, and like I said a lot of things about Xbox fans last week. I have said a lot of things about Xbox fans sort of over my time, especially on this show. But it was fascinating to hear them very openly just kind of lay out exactly what they were feeling and why they were feeling it. And there was just a lot of sentiments of, if this is a $3 trillion company, why can't we have games that are just ours? Like, at what point do we stop giving them money because we're not getting anything, quote unquote, in return? And just the emotional stakes that they've kind of tied up in the identity of being an Xbox owner. And it's something I don't think about because it's like, I have a PlayStation, I have my Switch, I have my PC. They're games. They mean nothing to me, right? But if this is the thing that you've bought this year or the thing that you invested money in when the Xbox Series X came out, like I understand where some of the parasocial stuff, especially because of the way the marketing worked, kind of came into their heads. But it was genuinely fascinating to hear people just bleh about a lot of stuff.
But it's like those games are still there, and you get them first.
They are. Yes. And I think a lot of what's passively being admitted to in these spaces at the moment is like, well, why don't I just get a PS5 then? Because then I get the Xbox games and the rest of the games that everyone else is sort of enjoying and talking about at the same time.
Well, I think there's a clear reason why. So if you have it on Xbox, you get these games as part of Game Pass. You buy it on PlayStation, you got to pay $90 for it or whatever it might be, right? And you got to wait 12 months. So you got to wait 12 months and you got to pay for it as its own product. Sure,
yeah, but then you're locked into the Xbox family from that point on, right? You don't get access to The Last of Us or the thing that everybody on the planet is sort of talking about. And I think that there's
no,
sort
but
of
I more mean kind of like how you buy Nintendo games to play Nintendo games, right? You could just have your Xbox there to use Game Pass for when whatever the fuck it is comes out. Starfield, not Starfield. What's the next one that comes out? Avowed or whatever.
Avowed?
Yeah,
yeah, one of those.
But I guess what you're saying is that the way that these communities have formed, the way just Xbox has marketed and set up their shit, it's like, I guess this news is kind of like, it sounds really silly, but I guess it's just like hurt pride. It's kind of like, oh, I've been sacrificing all this time being a little Xbox fan, being loyal to the consoles and yeah, so I can see why, and it does sound like you being in that like Twitter space actually did make you quite sympathetic.
Oh, it did. I mean, there were people that were just talking, and it's kind of like, I think on Twitter, and it's the way we all talk to each other on the internet, right? It's all very short bites, and there's no tone, there's no inflection. You don't sort of understand, I think, a bit more about who's talking to you. But just like they were talking for like 7 hours. I listened to about 2 of it, and I kind of tapped out after that. I had to go for a walk. But it's a long time to just hear people have very frank conversations about how they're feeling. And like I do think it's supremely silly. I don't like how hard these people have bought into the Xbox brand. But at the same time, companies market to these people in a very specific way, in a very deliberate, not abusive is not the right word, but like in a very manipulative way, right? And so if somebody's been manipulated by a brand and they're kind of having a moment where they realize, oh fuck, none of this actually meant anything, I will be sympathetic for them in that moment. Just don't be an asshole about it, and I will happily listen to you.
It's probably also a bit of, they feel a bit defeated as well.
Yeah.
Because they've gone out and spent, well, not they, but like Microsoft's gone out and spent all this money on studios and games and whatnot and IPs, and yet they still have to bring it to PlayStation to succeed.
Hasn't been transformative, no.
Like they've taken all this stuff away from PlayStation, yet it's still coming back to PlayStation because and like you wouldn't see this shoe on the other foot. Like you wouldn't see you wouldn't see PlayStation go, oh fuck it, we'll bring Uncharted and Last of Us and
I think
GT7.
defeated is a good word for it, because I know that if you're an ingrained Xbox fan, you've been hearing, I suppose, news bites that have been alluding to a better future for like 2 years, I guess. It's like, oh, we're putting more on Game Pass. We're looking to acquire this studio, that studio. We're buying fucking Activision Blizzard, and it's all a promise. And then I suppose when it's at loggerheads with this news, which is we're also giving shit away to everyone else because we need to do that to have a better profit margin. So like it's an unfulfilled promise to them, I would assume. I don't know, it's really hard to say, because like you said, James, we're in maybe a privileged mindset where we have access to all of the things.
Oh, we absolutely are. Yeah, there's no
and
question.
I definitely, like, when I put myself in the shoes of my younger self who had a PS3 and certainly nowhere near the budget to get an Xbox 360 as well, there were definitely games that came out on the 360 that I was like, oh man, I wish I could play that, but I physically cannot. So I don't understand the tribalism, nor do I condone it, but I understand it to a degree, I suppose. But also, don't be a dick. Like,
Yeah.
On the other hand, if someone else is getting something and you are also getting to keep it, that is fine for everyone.
And it probably works out better for them because they get more money
Sure.
to
Why
make
not?
more games.
Well,
Yeah. To buy
Nathan,
more
go on.
there you
studios.
go.
My last comment was I feel like my Game Pass Nintendo predictions becoming tangibly more closer. It's getting
I think it is
weird.
too. Yeah,
Switch 2.
Switch 2. I can't
Would it be
remember what I
like
called it now.
Would it
What did he call it?
Super Switch? No.
No, Swift or
that-
something.
Shift.
Shift.
right.
Shift. Nintendo Shift.
Shift.
Now with Game Pass.
Hell yeah.
Is it
What is
full?
shift?
It's my prediction for what they're calling the Nintendo 2. Switch 2.
Shift.
The Shift.
Yeah.
The Nintendo Shift.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us how much you love it, because he's only had positive feedback so far.
I need it.
It's really good.
Thank you so much. That really means the world to me.
Do you think that would come with full blown Game Pass or just like
No, it'd be
like
truncated.
yeah.
The
the
Switch
only
can run like
collection-
what, 4 of the games on
Well, obviously not on
Game
Switch.
Pass? Like, fuck me.
I meant
Maybe
Switch
they
2.
discover streaming.
Well, they have cloud, old mate.
Well, we
Because
don't,
that-
but
Doesn't the Switch
Don't
have cloud?
Nintendo?
Not Australia, but yes.
Oh, really?
it does.
Oh.
Doesn't Nintendo make too much money from like physical games? Though?
Oh, they love
think that-
physical media.
yeah, but I mean, like, you're never going to see like I imagine if you're going to go out and buy a Nintendo cartridge, that game is never going to be on Game Pass. So, like, I hope that it wouldn't be too much of a crossover for them. I do wonder what it would do to their like digital market though, because that thing has like either really good sales or terrible. There's no in between, sort of, on the Nintendo eShop.
I was thinking more.
Yeah.
Not Nintendo games coming to Game Pass. More like
Microsoft games like the Rare Replay collection.
yeah, like Sea of Thieves and
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
what's something else?
Sea of Thieves. Sorry, on the note of the state of play, the person that leaked pretty much the entire lineup for that is also the person that's been talking about Sea of Thieves coming to PS5 very soon. So like it seems like the dam's about to break.
That game's like 10 years old though. Like if you still care about Sea of Thieves,
people do love
as
that
in,
game.
sorry, if you care that is coming to PlayStation after
Yeah.
like having it
What
for
other
10
pirate
years.
game are they going to play on their PS5?
Hey,
Hey, they're gonna play what's that one that fucking old mate? Piranha Bytes. What's it called? Risen.
oh,
Isn't?
Mate, didn't Piranha Bytes just get the chop?
fuck. Risen was
It did.
absolutely heinous.
It was proper Euro.
Isn't there three of them? Isn't it?
I've played 2 of them.
Oh, really?
Fucking, oh my god, those games
I've only
are so
played the
bad.
first.
Like,
It was
okay, I don't-
interesting.
I don't want to
Keep
shit
going.
on them, but fuck me, what a studio! Like Risen 2 Is there a Risen 3? Did that ever come
Oh, there
out?
absolutely
Yeah,
is.
there is 3.
Oh,
Yeah, cool.
100%.
Elix and Elix 2, like, mate.
Are they also a studio that did the old Gothic games?
Yeah, they Gothic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they're definitely doing
Well,
the new
my
one.
understanding is
Yeah.
that people generally liked Gothic for what it was, and then everything since has been steady in degrees of no.
That's a shame though, because Piranha Bytes have been at it for a long time, only to get embraced.
Yeah, but
Yes,
like,
well.
they haven't really. You know.
Do you know apparently they were working on Elex 3 when they got embraced?
No fucking way.
It's right.
Speaking of things I wish people wouldn't be working on, there are rumors that Naughty Dog is making an Uncharted Drake's Fortune remake. So, yay!
I mean, the remastered trilogy version of Drake's Fortune was virtually a remake anyway. Like, they redid the controls and everything.
Exactly.
Do they? Oh, is this the Uncharted collection?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. I don't hate it, but I don't really care either way. Like, I'm not.
I just want them to make something new. That isn't
Yeah, I know.
Last of
Yeah,
Us.
yeah. Like they are kind of taking
that's
the
all.
piss a little bit. Like if
But
that
it makes
was the,
sense. If you go to the movies, you watch fucking whoever who played Sully in the movie.
Mark
It was
Wahlberg?
someone that made. Yeah, you see Mark
Marky
Wahlberg
Mark.
on the big screen, and you want to see him in the game, and that game best
Oh,
be
shut up.
up to modern day standards.
You think they're going to Tom Holland, Nathan Drake into?
Oh,
can you imagine?
please no.
Lord. Anyway, that's the news. What a week. It's Tuesday.
Yeah. Another just quickly in other news, another Aussie game is actually getting a release date. I don't know if this. I think this is embargoed. Like for currently, it's going to be fine by Friday. But Servonauts. Do you remember that game? It's like a co-op. Sorry, I'm just going to get up the presser. Where are we? So, time to blow up the Cosmos. Couch co-op space romp Servonauts announced spliced on a PC and Nintendo Switch this year. Embargo's probably up by now. Coming. Oh, sorry. It's just coming this year. Sorry, I thought it had a release date. My apologies. Well,
Ugh. You
Well,
just
there you go.
upset all the Servonaut
I know.
fans.
They're gonna.
Servo
There's gonna be a
Furious.
Twitter space. I'm no longer a Servonaut fan.
Yes.
So,
Now. Ah, fuck.
Grim.
Grim
Yep.
indeed. Anything else? No.
Nothing jumped out at me.
No.
Fortunately, there was no layoffs to talk about. What a pleasant surprise.
A whole week.
Yep.
How long
Look
can
at
we
us
go?
yeah, I was gonna ask if anything good happened this week, but at least nothing bad happened.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
It's
not
all
destined
neutral,
for good
provided
things
you
in
don't
2024.
really care about these things. So,
Hey, guess what? We've got like 12 minutes before we hit the 90-minute mark. You know what that means?
Off topics, baby. So
then.
reviews for the Inquisitor have just dropped.
They have.
what is the Inquisitor?
That's that churchman one. Playing a medieval church
Detective.
cop. I'm so sorry. So this is IGN's review. They gave it a 6, and it says playing a medieval church cop hunting a vampire is a great concept, but blurry choices, weak combat, and a ton of hand-holding keep the Inquisitor from a compelling inquisition.
Oh my god.
What?
That church man really got me. Jesus.
We'll read one more. What do we feel the next one's going to be? Who are we going to go with? We'll go with PC
Yeah,
Gamer.
give us the outlet first.
Actually,
PC Gamer.
I'm feeling like PC Gamer, and we'll go IGN Africa because why not?
Okay. All right
mean-
then.
Hard turkey with that.
Give us the little blurb first, and then
He's
we'll
just
see if we
realised
can-
he can't read like Afrikaans and shit.
He
Well, I
can't
think it's just the IGN review, but a paragraph of it.
Some regions do that. They don't all have dedicated reviews.
Well, that's a fucking stitch up. All
Give
right,
us PC Gamer, mate. Give us the rundown.
PC Gamer. Gee whiz, is that the visuals? Holy.
Yeah, it's Are you surprised? Sure, I thought
Well,
you'd seen the trailer for
I
this
have seen it, but
now.
I don't remember it being in that. Looks
I
like
think it
Piranha.
looks about a
looks
step
like,
up from claymation.
I was gonna say it looks like it's a Piranha Bytes job, mate. Holy fuck! Okay. The Inquisitor is a grim yet strangely gripping dark fantasy story, memorable if a little rough around the edges. It's from Big Robbie Jones, the print editor.
Shout outs, Robbie.
6.5.
The Inquisitor does deliver on the concept, which is to carry the player along a dark fantasy narrative in a unique, twisted world, but that core experience is interspersed, with so many light variants of certain gameplay mechanics. We've all played better versions. That we've all played better versions of. Blah 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 blah. Any thoughts on what this score could be?
Yeah, big fiver.
I think 6.5. I reckon he's been generous.
7.5.
8.
Pretty much.
You just,
I'll
what you
take
just
an
said
8.
to me didn't sound
7.9.
like
79. That's why I was like, holy
Okay.
fuck. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, shout out
Do
to
they have
the...
You've played a better game than this on every level.
Did they have two different people? One did the review, one did the score, without conversing with each other?
I shouldn't judge. I'm guilty of this.
I gave Outriders an 8.5. I'll get to it before you do, Zach.
I wasn't going to say anything. I mean, I gave Far Cry
Yeah.
5 a 10 almost. I gave it a 9.
Yeah, that's a bit. How you doing?
That is almost
Absolutely, eh? I'm still waiting on that check from Ubisoft, from Big Eves. All right, let's go to off topic, shall we? I finished watching that show that I talked about last week. I forgot the name again of it already. My Normal Family, or Hey, What's Up? This is My Normal Family, something like that. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. It's a James fine with a capital F.
Yeah, I believe that.
What does that translate to? Rating?
Oh, like a.
Oh, that's
Like
like,
5?
Probably, I'd say it's more like a 6.
that's a sack 9.
Oh yeah, I guess for non-game stuff. Yeah.
A sack 9. Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. Didn't hate it. Didn't love it. Wouldn't watch it again.
That's what anime we've been watching this week.
Well, are you opening the floor up to me because you know what I've been watching?
Well, just you. I mean, come on. But you go on.
Well, yeah. No, look. I finished Mobile Suit Gundam 0079. I am on to Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam or Gundam Zeta. It's one of the two. I don't know.
Oh,
really
wait,
sure.
0.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the one where everyone now has 80s fashion. Loving it so far. 4 episodes in, much ballsier, much flashier, very, very violent emotionally, I guess. There's some very traumatic stuff going on already. Obsessed. I think I'm a Gundam guy now, which is like a pretty natural, escalation of my Armored Core guy tendencies. But this is like full blown. I think this is really happening for me. So
It was definitely like, that was my big teenage anime phase and shit. But you kind of making me want to revisit. But it was like a lot more modern era than what you're dealing with.
yeah, no, I get that. I think I'm just gonna go production order. So I've only got like 40 odd years of anime to watch. Yeah,
Nice.
Hell
Easy.
yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Josefina,
But I
you
haven't
watched...
bought any of the model
Oh.
kits yet, so we're not there. So it's fine.
That was going to be my next question.
Can you get life
actually,
size?
'cause
I wish.
Yeah, I know you do.
Sleeping there.
Look
I
at
don't
the
know,
cum
maybe
gutters on
by
this
Christmas.
Gundam.
Yeah. Anyway, that's me.
Did you paint that, James? No, that's not painted.
No, that's not.
Bit of WD-40 in there.
Fuck me.
Josephine, have you...
wretched, terrible, terrible man.
Yep.
we
Used to it.
we lasted 145 minutes. An hour 25 minutes. So we did well.
Yeah,
What have you been
pats on the
watching?
back.
What have you been watching, Josephina?
I'm still watching One Piece. But you guys teased me last time because I was sad about it ending, and you were like, it's still going now. But I've got like 80 episodes left, and I'm getting sad. I'm getting upset. the recent arc. It's the Wano Kingdom
Mm.
arc. It's doing a lot of things. I'm liking all of it.
Oh dear, I shed a tear too. Sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Did she just have props ready to go? What the
I
fuck?
don't, my eyes are watering. I don't know what's going on.
It's called empathy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Apart from that, I'm watching Australian Survivor, and it's awesome.
I love the difference between those two shows that you're watching. That is phenomenal.
They both
Cool culture,
probably
honey.
hit a similar place in my brain, actually. Like, yeah.
Love
Very
it.
good. Adam, what do you got for us?
Just One Piece for me too, mate. I'm
All
up
right.
to Fishman
Oh,
Island.
yeah.
Let's go.
Sick of One Piece.
Ooh.
My boy Jinbei's back in the fray.
You're gonna hear
Oh,
about it every
Jinbei.
week for the rest
Oh
of the
my
year.
God.
Yeah, mate. I've got what, like 600 odd episodes left.
Fuck
I've got a lot
me.
of mileage out of this.
Mm-mm.
All right, 2000s film of the week. Let's do it. Jordan, cue the intro if there is one. All right, this time I will give you the synopsis instead of just going, fucking Guy Pearce was in the store. All right. Can confirm that no one from this film was in the store this week. All right, so
Please.
career thief Nick Wells is about to mastermind a nearly impossible theft that will require
Gone in 60 seconds.
that will require his joining forces with a clever young accomplice. The unlikely alliance, arranged by Nick's longtime friend and fence, Max, interrupts Nick's plan to retire from crime and settle down with his fiancée, Diane. Worse, it requires that Nick violate his most important rule: always work alone.
I'm sorry, I have to take a moment and Nathan's Family Feud styled fucking jumping. Oh my god.
All right, I'll give you. I'll give you. No, not even close. I'll give you Google's synopsis, which is a lot shorter, bit
Yeah,
more
right.
succinct. Nick Wells, a professional safecracker who is on the verge of retirement, is forced by his partner Max to participate in one final heist that involves stealing a French scepter.
Fuck all from me.
Yeah,
And
this
this
sounds like
movie
exactly
exists.
This
Definitely
film
exists.
does
Between
exist.
the years of 2000 and 2010.
Waving the white flag, we're calling it.
Yeah, mate, give it to
All
us.
right. It is a film starring Robert De Niro, Ed Norton, Marlon Brando, Angela Bassett, Gary Farmer, Mark Camaccio. It is called The Score. It released on July 9, 2001. It is a great little heist film. 73% on Rotten Tomatoes. You can watch it on nothing, but you can pay to watch it on Amazon Prime and Apple TV and Google Play if you want.
excellent.
Okay.
I'm disappointed
What
that
was
none
it
of us
called?
have watched
Sorry.
it.
What's
The
that?
score. He's already
The
forgotten.
Score.
It's
Thank
called
you.
The Score. It's got your mate in it, Marie Josie Colburn.
You
Oh,
can't
yeah,
just
your
say
mate.
things.
You and I have talked about her once before.
I'm going to start doing that. Hey, it's your mate, Adam, and just find some random person from the cast list.
We haven't. I've not seen anything that she's ever been in apart from The Score.
I have never even seen or heard of this movie before. This is not real.
It's a good film. It's a really good film.
I do like Angela Bassett.
Oh, of course.
She did the thing.
I should have picked her. Nice. Good choice. Oh wait, no, that was me. That was my choice. Never mind. But was a good choice.
On the back.
Alrighty. Any last words before we jet off for the week?
No.
Stay sexy.
Got nothing.
All right. Josefina, thank you for joining us. It's been amazing having you on board. Hopefully we see you again soon.
Thank you for having me.
And you sound much better with that mic. That goes in your...
Yeah. This is a real step up. I feel professional.
It is. You've done well. Good job. All right. To the rest of you, thanks for being here again. Love to see your faces. And to everyone else, if you want to check out the content, you go to www.well-played.com.au. Have a great weekend. We have some exciting... it's exciting. Exciting news to share maybe next week about a little talk through we may have done this week. So get excited for that. Ash has put out a Bears in Space demo playthrough video if you want to go check that out. I forgot to mention that earlier. Other than that, we will see you next week.
Bye.
Ciao.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
And stop.